The search is over now. At 6, a man accused of killing his wife and leaving her body in a parked car in San Ysidro is under arrest. We are live in the South Bay, where he's expected to face a judge today.
And it's a big night for the GOP. The first presidential primary debate just hours away. Why the current frontrunner says he will not be there. And Tropical Storm Harold's making landfall in Texas. We're going to take a look at some of the damage that's been left behind.
You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Thank you for being here on this Wednesday at 6 a.m. everyone. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Neda Irampour. Yeah, glad you're with us here. We're going to get right to our top story. After a man was on the run for several weeks, he's now accused of killing his wife, leaving her body in a parked car in San Ysidro. That man is now under arrest.
Later today, in fact, he's expected to face a judge for the first time. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol live outside the South Bay courthouse with the very latest on this. Dana Marie.
Eric and Netta, police are calling this a tragic case of domestic violence. Now, we know the 44-year-old man was arrested in San Ysidro on Saturday morning by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Now, authorities tell us they've been looking for Herman Armando Luna Salazar since July 4th. Police say a security guard noticed the woman's body inside a black Jeep Cherokee slumped over and dead in the San Ysidro shopping mall. The San Diego County Medical Examiner's Office did determine the death of 32-year-old Leyva Elizabeth Origel Garcia a homicide by strangulation, that she suffered blunt force trauma to her upper body. Now, in the weeks before her death, she was active on social media, posting photos, videos that we saw on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And we know she lived in Guadalupe, California. That's in Santa Barbara County. She was the mother of 2 daughters. We spoke to her uncle, Jose Mejia, to learn a little bit more about her and her relationship with her husband. He says the couple was married and divorced 2 times and ran a janitorial business together in Santa Barbara County.
He was kind of like, you know, you're never going to leave me. I'd rather see you dead before I see you with anyone else.
Now, Salazar is expected to be arraigned in court today at 1:30 in the South Bay courthouse, so we should get more information on the couple's relationship, what led up to this brutal murder. Of course, stick with us, CBS8.com, later editions of CBS 8 News for more information. I'm Dana Marie McNichol, coming to you live from Chula Vista.
Dana Marie, thank you. The man accused of assaulting several women and trying to break into their homes in El Cajon is also set to appear in court today. This happened on Elizabeth Way near Granite Hills High School on Saturday. El Cajon police say 3 women told them Dominic Medlock had grabbed them and tried to push his way inside their homes. He eventually wound up getting into a home with a man inside who quickly chased him out. Medlock was later arrested and booked into San Diego Central Jail on several charges, including battery and kidnapping with the intent to commit rape. This morning, we are learning a trial date is set for January 5th to decide who will get guardianship of Maya Milliete's 3 children. She went missing more than 2 years ago, and her body still has not been found. No cameras were allowed in probate court yesterday. This is video from a previous hearing. January is also when Maya's husband, Larry Milliete, will go on trial facing murder charges. An opposing attorney says there would be no conflict between the 2 trials because Larry's defense attorney would soon be stepping down. That attorney telling us she would resign from the case if there's no money to pay her. She says Larry would have to be found indigent or unable to afford an attorney before a public defender could take over the case. The next hearing in this criminal case is now set for October 10th.
Today, those of you living in Oceanside can weigh in on an ordinance that would ban businesses from using single-use plastic and styrofoam. The Oceanside City Council holding a public hearing. If this passes, a ban on single-use plastic would start by the year 2025, and then a ban on polystyrene products like styrofoam would then start July of next year. This comes as the city of San Diego already banned polystyrene products earlier this year. A lot of to-go containers cannot be styrofoam now. Supporters of these bans say foam products poison marine life. They're bad for the environment and the ozone. But opponents argue these bans raise local meat prices and reduce availability. If you want to make your voice heard, the hearing starts at 5 p.m. at Oceanside City Hall. Also today, SANDAG hosting the first workshop in a series across San Diego on their 2025 regional plan. This project aims to improve our transportation system over the next 25 years, but it cannot be done without input from many of you. SANDAG hoping to get feedback. Today's workshop at 4305 University Avenue. That's in City Heights. It starts at 5:30 p.m. And now let's talk about a major issue affecting so many students. UC San Diego's fall quarter starts next month in September, but many students will not be living on campus because they have a huge housing shortage.
This morning, more than 2,300 students are on a waiting list for on-campus housing. CBS 8's Chris Groh live at UC San Diego to explain what students are being forced to do now because of this. Chris?
Yeah, and again, think about this. On-campus housing usually helps you out during the time in which you're on campus, and then you can go back home when you're a student. You're not looking for a 12-month lease necessarily, but those students who are on that waiting list, they're either forced to go find off-campus housing, which can be a long-term lease at a very expensive rate, or they're bunking up with a lot of roommates, sometimes 5, 6, 7, and even 8 in some of these big houses here around La Jolla. Not exactly a cheap real estate market by any means. And this is an issue that UCSD has been trying to grapple and tackle. In fact, they had a student village that was supposed to provide about 2,000 more beds, but unfortunately, school officials told us that that multi-million-dollar project fell behind schedule and it's not ready for this year. So 2,300 students on a waiting list for on-campus housing. Remember, the semester starts, the school year, I should say, starts on September 25th. Now, something that they are doing to try to remedy the situation is that they are offering discount rates for students that are on that waiting list at nearby hotels. It kicks in if you're there for at least 90 days. But the students that we spoke with say that's not exactly ideal for student lifestyle or, again, even trying to be successful at UCSD.
It doesn't seem ideal. I think it's going to be very expensive for them, even at a discounted rate. The university could have done a better job with it. It seemed like they were very hopeful, and it didn't really pan out, but I think that if they had planned for it ahead of time, it would have been smarter.
And there are framework apartments on the Blue Line that start at about $2,300 a month. UCSD did say that those will be available to students starting in the fall, and that by 2025 there could be at least 3 more different apartments, or different options, I should say, for student housing. But again, that won't be until 2025. Eric and Netta.
All right, Chris, thanks for the update there. Yeah, a lot of college kids getting ready to head back into class.
Right.
Some already have. And then, of course, our local school districts, kids back in class
They're back
here.
in action. Yeah. I was going to
so-
say, on the college note, I've heard and seen some like 5 to 7 students in one apartment
Unbelievable.
trying to find places to sleep on the couch, the floor, wherever they can find a place to rest. They're here to study, get good grades, but they need good housing to be able to do that. Let's talk also now about those students that are heading off to school this morning. Your little ones, perhaps. I would say it's probably t-shirt and short kind of weather. Overall, it's going to be pretty mild. Nice, like we had yesterday with all that sunshine. For now, our view from Mount Soledad does not disappoint. Gorgeous, right? We're starting to see a little bit of that glow of daylight. Sunrise time will be in 9 minutes at 6:17 this morning. Satellite imagery showing no cloud coverage. It's pretty clear out there. Just a little bit of a haze you might notice. 66 degrees downtown, 61 in Poway, 61 in Escondido. So you'll notice it's a bit cooler for places like La Mesa, 65 in Chula Vista, now 74 in Borrego Springs. Let's take you to your bus stop and show you what's going on. There's a possibility of morning fog here over the next couple hours. You might see that just along the coast. Upper 70s to start off your day. By recess, though, sunshine, low 70s. And then by the time the kids are going home, sunny and warm, 74 degrees. That's mainly if you live near downtown or along the coastline. Inland areas, I would add 10 degrees to your afternoon conditions. So likely in the mid 80s. Let's take you through the neighborhoods. 75 in Imperial Beach, 78 in San Ysidro, 77 in National City, Santee, El Cajon. Yeah, you're going to be pretty warm in the mid 80s. 79 in Mira Mesa, 82 for Rancho Bernardo, San Marcos around 80 degrees. Now a little bit warmer in Escondido at 84. Look at Ramona. You'll be at 90 degrees. Compare that to Solana Beach at 71. So today will be fairly similar to yesterday. Things are going to warm up not until this weekend and early next week. I'll talk more about that here coming up in just a little bit. Let's now show you those border wait times. We know a lot of our friends like to go in and out of Mexico, coming through into the U.S. Look at that San Ysidro's port of entry. Will take 105 minutes of this hour. Otay says port of entry, they just added more stations there to try to get people to speed through, but still a 70-minute wait to get into the U.S. Eric.
Well, it is a big night for the GOP. The first presidential primary debate is just hours away, while the current frontrunner says he will not be there. And dramatic rescues after powerful tropical storms. We'll take a look at all the damage left behind.